Hello. Are you looking for a major? Are you desperate for a major and you do not know which major to choose? You have thought of everything, but you're like, trust me, choose psychology. It's a great major not because you're also helping people, but also you're helping yourself. It teaches you about your specific emotions that you go through, your childhood, and the why you act a certain way, whether if it's good or bad. But if it is bad, you learn tactics on how to fix that. You become your own therapist for your entire life because you learn about psychology, the brain, why you work that way. And if you don't want to act like that, or if you don't want to go like the wrong route in life. Also, another reason is because there isn't a lot of mental help. There's not a lot of people working in mental health in places that there should be people working in mental health places. For an example, prisons. Prisons don't have therapists, and if they do have therapists, it's like a kind of therapist who's like making sure how was your day, you're getting along with the inmates. We need a therapist that specializes in certain behaviors. For an example, I believe that a lot of people who can also go into prison are people with mental illnesses such as bipolar, schizophrenic, whatever reason. Also, a lot of people who end up in the streets are not just people who just do drugs, it's people with mental illnesses, and people that usually end up in the streets end up in prison. So what do we need? We need therapists working in prisons, and people don't get this. People are always going to end up going back to the streets, not healing their minds because they're not speaking to therapists, and go back to the streets and going back to crime, when we really just need therapists to help these people in prison, which we don't have enough. We really don't. And we need to look into that more. Also, people who say psychology isn't a good major because there isn't enough jobs out there, there is plenty of jobs. To be a therapist, plain sight, you do need to get your master's. I'd rather have real therapists, fix people in these problems. What you need is, when you're going through something, is someone to talk to them, figure out what's going on in their brain, rewire the thinking process, and to helping them not think like that. The reason why people have depression is because they think so badly about themselves and their life, and just and repeat and over again, and all they know is that life of those thoughts. And when you have a therapist, they help you, like, why do you think like that? Do you want to stay like that? What if you think like this? Do you think your outcome will be like this? A therapist is going to help you think completely different. That's why a therapist is so powerful and so important for people that are in prisons, mental hospitals, like kids growing up who didn't have good parents. And the thing about, if you don't have good parents, your adulthood, how do you explain it? Like, let's say it's not going to be sunshines and rainbows when you grow up if you don't have that stable or good childhood when you're a kid. And a lot of people need to know that and need to see that. And when you grow up, like, why you're thinking, why am I addicted to drinking? Why am I addicted to drugs? Like, why do I act like this in a relationship? It doesn't seem healthy. And if you really relate it to like how it was when you were a kid, if you didn't receive a certain amount of love when you were a kid, or if you saw somebody in your family like who was drinking too much, that's kind of gonna be your outcome. But what therapists do is they see that, they ask you about your life, and it shows that the outcome, like, that's gonna be the outcome. But you don't have to. It doesn't have to be like that. You can grab that, understand that, and you don't have to have that victim mentality, but you can understand where it came from, and you can work from that. And that's what a therapist does. It changes your thoughts. Good thoughts will bring a better mentality. Another reason why psychology is an important major, not just for a career, but the way you see people. For an example, every single mental disorder and how to distinguish it in a person. So let's say, for an example, when I see it in somebody, I know how to talk to them. I know what to say. I know when to be kind. And to be kind is so important because you never know what somebody has or what they're going through in their mind. We're all different. Our brains are all different. Our childhoods are all different. And psychology will let you see that before you speak into matter. For an example, when I was staying in San Diego, we went out to downtown, and in downtown San Diego, as everybody knows, there's a lot of homeless people. And the homeless people, they're chilling, they're always together. But what I noticed is this older lady's passed out next to the trash can in a corner of the street and usually people in downtown San Diego, they're together, they have their tents, they're right next to each other, they have things. They're not passed out looking like something happened to them out there, and it's an older woman, and I have my grandma, so the first thing I see when I see this old lady passed out is my grandma, and it grabs my attention. I thought it was so crazy that I had to stop from where we were going to and walk back to check to see if she was okay. And I saw this lady. I was like, "Hi, are you okay?" I was like, "You're too old to be here on the streets. What brought you here?" And what this old lady was talking about is she was denied. She was not born in the United States. She had problems being classified as an American U.S. citizen. So she was talking about how they told her that she was classified as dead, and she was telling them that, no, I'm right here, why would you classify me as dead? And she was so angry, and she began to tell that story to me right after she finished it over and over again. And I started to realize this woman has Alzheimer's, and she's stuck here on the streets, and she probably has no family and no friends, and she's stuck here on the streets and probably known as dead. And if we don't see things, if we don't talk to people, if we don't see these traits in people, how will we ever know what people are going through, And that really hurt me. That really hit me. There's people living here on the streets not just because they're addicted to drugs, which I think is a problem too. It's a type of mental illness that I can go into another discussion, but people who just have plain Alzheimer's, which is crazy. But I feel as a person who thinks about other people and why they're in that situation, if I wasn't that kind of person, I probably would never have talked to that woman. But I did what I could. I went and bought her a meal and prayed for her and got her some cold water. But it still baffles me how many people are like that on the street till this day. We never know who's on the streets unless we talk to them or understand them. And being part of psychology is great because you learn how to understand. You learn how to understand a lot of things. Why we act the way we do. Why things are the way they are. And the important thing about psychology, and the important thing about anything in the world, is knowledge. Knowledge from anything is important, but knowledge from psychology, I think everybody needs to know, and especially to be a parent. And if you learn about psychology, you will know why it is important to know about psychology before you're a parent. But let's not just forget, you do not have to be just a therapist to be a psych major in college. You can also be a social worker. You can be any kind of therapist for like a sport team that you do, or like you can be a dance therapist. I was thinking of being a dance therapist because I'm a dancer and I'm a dance minor. You can be a psych teacher, you could be a psych professor. I think I want to be a psych professor somewhere in my life because I think it would be fun and I would love to spread psych knowledge to everybody. There is a lot of things that you can be. Like, you can be a psychologist too. Like, don't forget to medicate people and to diagnose people, and it takes way more time. You also have to minor in science. Don't forget like, to be a psych major, you have to pick BA in arts or science. I'm a BA in arts, and the further you can go with that is just a therapist, but you cannot be a psychologist. You would have to be a BA in science, and that's like way more biology, way more science. You'd have to do more school. It just doesn't end. So if that's what you want to do, go ahead and do that. You can help people in that way as well, but it just doesn't stop there. Like, psych major is a good major. Don't let people tell you it's not, because it's a very selfless major. And if you want to just help people, if you want knowledge, if you want something to do, go to college. Get that degree, get that knowledge. Knowledge is by far the most important thing that you need in life, so you're not messing up when you're going to college, and you're not picking the wrong decision if your major is psychology. So that'll have it. That's what I have to say about psychology and why you should choose it as a major. I hope you like this video, and if you want more videos like this, please give it a thumbs up. This is my first YouTube video that I posted, so give it a lot of love because I want to start making more videos of whatever. Let me know if you want an apartment tour. It's overlooking the entire city. It's lit. Also, if you want to go to Texas State University, I can post more Texas State University content, why you should go to school here, how the housing is, details, like upon details like that. So if you want to go to Texas State University, and also comment down below like what you want to hear next, like what do you want to know, and I'll make a video upon it. So thanks for watching.